Every time I think it's over, and it literally never ends, bro. I'm literally dying right now. Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender series is hoping to appeal to Game of Thrones fans, says showrunner. They didn't expand upon this because they didn't want to show the sex scene between... They went woke. They're going broke. Dude, here we go. More woke drama. Let's see what my boy, the moistest of criticals, have. We're getting a critically drinking take today. Because, dude, they literally want to write Sokka out of the series because he's a misogynist. Dude, these people don't understand good writing, and it's tragic. We are jumping into this. We'll see the moist man's takes, and I doubt he's gonna go down the woke rabbit hole, but I goddamn will. I am going to paint the insides of their buttholes red.
Last Airbender is one of the most cherished cartoons ever made. It's an absolute masterpiece. And when you think of Avatar: The Last Airbender, do you also think of Game of Thrones? I imagine...
Yes! What a coincidence! It's from all the Sokka and Katara fan art that I see, where they are a little more than siblings. I've played Coffin of Andy and Lele. I know a thing or two about siblings.
For all of you with a functioning frontal lobe, the answer to that question is a resounding no. Which means you are not a showrunner for the live-action Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, because for some reason, these absolute goofball-brained goobers think that they needed to change the show around to appeal to a Game of Thrones audience for some reason.
It's such a bad idea. Dude, I hate when people do this. Do you realize Avatar's a masterpiece? If you're gonna remake something to be Game of Thrones, make something bad become Game of Thrones, okay? Make something that's not great become another Game of Thrones. Dude, you could absolutely do that for something that is a cherished comic that never really saw the light of day. But Avatar is literally one of the best animated shows ever made. It's one of the best TV shows ever made. And this is what you do?
Even think it's necessary to even entertain that delusion, but I'll do it briefly. Why? Let's just...
Dude, like, literally, the plot of Avatar is so fucking good. It's so good. Oh my god, dude. Here, let me show you another example of Game of Thrones. Okay, not Game of Thrones. What they want to do to Avatar. Look at this. Netflix's live-action Avatar series took out how sexist Sokka was in the original. A lot of the moments of the animated show were... You absolute dumb fuck. That was his character development. Literally. Man grew up so... These people don't understand anything. Bro, they saw Sokka say that, oh, Katara, you're a girl. And they literally just saw freaking Adam from Has-Been Hotel calling himself Dickmaster. Like, these people are such idiots. Such idiots. It's baffling.
Now, of course, Avatar is a cartoon that transcends just like a child appreciated show.
Oh, yeah.
All ages can appreciate it, but it is family friendly. Game of Thrones has titties and blood and shit out the wazoo. It's totally different. Why would you want...
Although, like, I'd be down if you put titties and blood into Avatar. Like, that is not what would make me cry. I'm just saying.
Avatar to be morphed into something Game of Thrones adjacent. It makes no sense.
Also, because one major difference between Avatar and Game of Thrones is, in Avatar, you have Aang, a fucking 12-year-old, going to fight Fire Lord Ozai, a tyrannical ruler. How, pray tell, are you gonna make this Game of Thrones? Are you gonna give Aang a red wedding where all of his friends get murdered? Are you planning on doing that in season 3 of Avatar? You just kill off all the cast, introduce new characters?
That is the most out-of-touch Netflix corporate suit decision I could have ever imagined. Oh, we need to tap into the Game of Thrones audience. Why? Also, for the most part, the Game of Thrones audience is dead and buried with the fucking colossal flop of Season 8 being such a fumble.
I mean, that's kind of awesome. But, like, let's be honest, though. Game of Thrones fandom is alive and well. People are rewatching the first 4 or 5 seasons of Game of Thrones. People love House of the Dragon as they should. It's fire. So let's not make believe the actual community is dead and gone. I'm just saying they should have learned from One Piece. One Piece adaptation was great because they literally carried the spirit of the original into the live action adaptation, and that is exactly what they need to be doing in this. Like, do you realize they're trying to take a child show, make it adult-like, and thereby kill all the themes of the show? Sokka grew up so much. In the first episode, Sokka was a sexist guy who thought women sucked and they're girls so they can't fight, and literally half of his character development was not only being able to start believing in himself because he was the only non-bender in the group, but it was literally realizing women are awesome. And it didn't feel like preachy or freaking dropping all of this stupid propaganda garbage. It was so well done. Dude, Sokka realizing women is awesome is like such a great character arc. If you remove that, you are hurting women. You're such a fucking idiot. You stupid Netflix executive dumb shit.
Now, of course, House of the Dragon helped revive it a little bit, but even still, this is just beating a dead horse. No, it's more than that. This is like mutilating the corpse of a dead horse.
Oh my god, he doesn't stop. No, it's even worse than mutilating. It's like mutilating it and then fucking it through the gash in its side after you mutilated it for a dead horse.
It's disgusting. You're defiling it. I just can't understand that decision at all. It's like if you were doing a live-action adaptation for the Care Bears and making it dark and gritty for no reason.
Let's be honest, that's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, we saw all the whimsy and the...
Calling it right here, you could say Nux pre-watched, but bro, they are absolutely doing that.
Childlike fun of Care Bears. And
dude, they literally have a horror movie Winnie the Pooh, okay? They're gonna do that.
We wiped our ass with it. We said, it's time that Care Bears gets with the program in the 21st century. It's time that we adapt Care Bears to fit the modern audience, and we wanted to tap into fans of the Human Centipede franchise to welcome them into the Care Bears.
The Human Centipede fans in the audience need new blood.
Universe. Just, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, I already made a video talking about, like, the first trailer that dropped for the Avatar series, and like I said, visually, I think it looks pretty good, and I had somewhat of an optimistic outlook on it, but I had to mention that I was still very skeptical because the creators of Avatar walked away from this Netflix adaptation quite a while ago, stating creative differences. So the actual creators that put together this masterpiece...
This was such a... When I heard this, that was like such a nail in the coffin for me. When the actual creators of Avatar had to walk away because they were like, yeah, they're not listening to us. Dude, that is such a red flag, especially because it's such an Avatar's amazing. It's so iconic. It's so beautiful. Sorry, I'm just sad.
They didn't like the direction it was going. And now, as it gets closer to release, it comes out at the end of this month, it's pretty clear why they left. It's because they're changing all of the most...
Yeah, like for example, Netflix changes Avatar the Last Airbender character due to gender issues. What the fuck does that mean, gender issues? What the hell is that?
Important fundamental aspects of Avatar. It's very clear why the creators would have abandoned this pile of shit. It's not looking good. Visually, it's certainly better than M. Night Shyamalan's Sin from 2010 with the Last Airbender movie. But narratively, it's looking like it could be even worse somehow.
Oh, God.
Over the last 3 days, there's been 3 bombshell new pieces of information from half of the show that just really raises a lot of red flags and sounds the alarm. So this...
They're gonna make Aang female.
This was the first one about wanting to appeal to Game of Thrones audiences. The showrunner saying that it couldn't just be for kids. Dummy, it was never just for kids.
Any show that's made to be enjoyed by kids and adults alike is a masterpiece. That is what you need to strive for. The Kung Fu Pandas of the world, the Megaminds, the Ratatouilles, bro, the goddamn Digimons, all right? The freaking Avatar, The Last Airbender. That is exactly the sweet spot that kids and adults can both absolutely love.
Avatar, The Last Airbender is one of those few cartoons that everyone of all ages sings the praises of because it appeals to everybody.
It's literally so beloved.
Just for kids. And you don't need to prove that it's not for kids by introducing a Game of Thrones style narrative to it for the drama. I don't even know how they're planning on weaving that in there.
Yeah, honestly, dude. Like, come on. How are you going to do that?
But I can't imagine that's going to land very well. Also went on to say it had to also appeal to the people who are big fans of Game of Thrones, so it had to feel grounded and mature and adult in that way too. That's the tightrope that we have to walk.
What?
No, you don't. You can just not walk.
It's a kid's show, you freaking morons! Oh my god, dude!
Tightrope because it's nonsensical to do that in the first place. This is like if Nintendo would have come out right before the Mario Bros. Movie released and said, we knew in order for Mario Bros. To succeed, we needed to appeal to John Wick fans, so we had to make sure Mario Bros. Felt grounded, mature, and adult in that way too. It was our tightrope we had to walk.
Yes.
It's just fucking baffling.
I really needed to give Aang a character arc a little more similar to Walter White from Breaking Bad. Like, we felt like he was a little bit of a goody two-shoes. We really wanted him to have that Heisenberg flair, if you know what I'm saying.
Mind-boggling. Why does Avatar: The Last Airbender need to appeal to Game of Thrones fans in any way, shape, or form? The idiot benders over there at Netflix have lost their marbles. They're off their gourd right now with this direction. And this is only one...
We are changing the cabbage merchant to a drug dealer because drugs are hip.
Of 3 big...
Honestly, that sounds pretty good though. Like, if they did that, I wouldn't even be mad.
Alarming things they've said. The biggest one is by far their decision to completely change one of Sokka's main characters.
there it is. Thank you for bringing this up. I'm so happy, bro.
Character arcs that he goes through in the show. Apparently, they're toning down Sokka's sexism in the show, stating, I feel like we also took out the element of how sexist Sokka was. I feel like there were a lot of moments in the original show that were iffy. He is a flawed character, that's the whole point.
Thank you, Charles. You are so based and sexy. Writing characters as flawed characters is so good. That's why I absolutely detest the Twitter brain rot, that when they see a character do something bad and evil, they immediately have to write off that character as the epitome of all horridness, and they never deserve a redemption arc. You absolute buffoon. That is exactly who needs redemption arcs. Perfect people do not need to be redeemed. It's the assholes that need to be redeemed.
I don't know why studios are so afraid of flawed characters now, where every character needs to just be morally perfect.
Cookie cutter perfect characters, every one of them. It's like they snorted My Hero Academia's butt hairs and they turned every character into Deku.
Off rip, so then they're extraordinarily uninteresting and don't really have any character development. The whole point was Sokka started off very flawed, and he goes through this development where he learns, women can be badass warriors too.
Dude,
it's not just men. It's a huge component of his character and his growth. That is one of the main things that he first goes through. And apparently,
removing the sexism from Sokka is like removing the hemorrhoids from my asshole. Hemorrhoids are definitely not nice and we don't like them, but my asshole just wouldn't feel like mine without them.
That's what Charlie meant to say. I just had to translate it into so you'd understand.
Apparently they've just wiped their ass with that. Now, they didn't say that they've entirely removed it. They've said they've toned it down.
So true, boss. Okay, Chad, you have to stop with the Nux Pentis stuff, please.
Telling how much, but still, why do that? Why have that play a backseat when in the show that was pivotal to his character growth and development?
Wait, they don't want sexism, but they want Game of Thrones. Have they watched Game of Thrones? Dude, that is such a good take. Thank you, random kick chat guy. Dude, what? Are they gonna they're gonna take out the blind jokes. Dude, there's no way. Oh my, I'm literally shaking right now.
There it is! That's what it will sound like when one of you spots it.
Every single one is such classic scenes, and they're gonna take all this stuff out because it's being ableist and not inclusive enough.
Seemingly wanting to appeal to Game of Thrones fans, and yet they're watering down the elements of the original children's program because they believe adults are too fragile to handle it.
Oh god, dude, Charlie, that was so based. My lord, something is rising and it is not the shield hero.
Affable to me. Kids could handle it back then, but times are different now. We need to make sure that the adults are coddled as much as possible.
My favorite part about Game of Thrones is how much it made me feel coddled.
Gotta be Weenie Hut Jr. and super sterile.
We're gonna take out all the sexism, but we're gonna make all the women naked. The Game of Thrones experience, ladies and gentlemen. We're removing all sexism from the show. However, all the women will be naked at all times. Yes!
We also have to make sure it appeals to Game of Thrones fans. And once again, this begs the question I've asked a million times when it comes to this shit.
Oh god.
Why are you adapting this in the first place? What is the point of your live-action adaptation if you're going to change the most fundamental elements of what you're taking from? You immediately alienate the fans, and you're not bringing in any new fans from...
He's just right. I have no idea why they do it. I love how people in chat say money. They would make more money if the show was actually good and successful. Money cannot be it. There has to be something else. I feel like they get some sort of check mark on their resume so that they can move up the corporate ladder of corporate absolute moron. Somehow, by saying, we didn't make as much money, but at least the message was good. We removed sexism from the show. And somebody in the studio over there is gonna freaking clap and succeed. We know you didn't make enough money, but god damn it, we're giving you a promotion. There has to be some sort of freaking cabal.
To lose. It's a lose-lose situation all around, like we saw with Halo Season 1. Now, Season 2 does appear to be going a different direction. Maybe they've learned from the mistakes. We'll see. But this is once again falling into the same fucking mistakes of why are you adapting something that you don't even seem to like or get in the first place.
True.
With further evidence from their most recent statement saying that Aang will no longer be, going on any side quests or taking any detours. He's just going to be all business all the time, which runs counter.
Oh my fucking god, dude. We're making One Piece, except we're removing Luffy's personality because we want him to be a lot more focused on finding the One Piece. They're just literally murdering this show because they can.
that he just wants to be a kid, that he wants to have a childhood. In fact, the whole thing starts with him running away from his responsibilities. He never wanted to be the Avatar, and he wanted to just be a kid. But in this...
Dude, they're gonna make him not actually run away. They're gonna make him get caught in ice on some sort of fluke accident.
I guess that's not going to exist. He's just always gonna be all business all the time. And they have to know that. They're making the conscious decision to just fuck everything because they believe they can do it better. And that hubris has ruined so many of these in the past.
Hubris is one way to put it. I don't know how anyone could be so deluded to think that having Aang just focus on the plot 100% of the time and not go on any side quests because he needs to get to the Northern Water Tribe immediately.
Avatar: The Last Airbender has to be one of the most talked about shows probably ever.
Dude, literally. I don't think people understand exactly how insane this is. I'm just so sad. Avatar is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's literally so perfect. World building is so peak. Do you realize how much world building is in the side quests? Dude, they want it to be Game of Thrones where there's no world building? Oh my god. Just so sad. It's like they literally got people that never watched Avatar to write it. They just gave them cliff notes of the characters. They put the Avatar Last Airbender transcript into ChatGPT and it shit them out this absolute garbage slop pile that they're turning into a show now.
If you just type in Avatar: The Last Airbender on YouTube, you'll get thousands upon thousands of video essays going over all the nuance of the show, all the plot elements, and everything that makes it so special. It is a show that has stood the test of time and is still actively discussed to this day, so many years later. So there's no way the people that worked on this are somehow ignorant to these things. But they are just...
Again, I think a lot of times people have some sort of hubris where they think, nah, I'd win. Nah, I'll just do it better. Nah, I'm Joe Goat. I'm Joe Goat, ladies and gentlemen. And they think it's the IP. They'll just be able to tap into the nostalgia and make bajillions of dollars. And that's it. They don't actually believe in the thing that they're adapting.
Just choosing to completely change them for some inexplicable reason. I don't get it. Why adapt this, then, if that's the case? A lot of money is going into this. You can tell that it's a high-budget production just from the trailers. Visually, it looks pretty impressive, especially compared to the 2010 counterpart.
Visuals are nice and good, but, dude, visuals are just the freaking wallpaper. The plot, the characters, that's the goddamn house.
Waste all that money. You could have just done a more faithful adaptation, and I'm
telling you, it's the shadow government all over again.
Said, I don't really see a point in adapting something one-to-one. I do believe you need to take creative liberties.
Like One Piece, it's the spirit of the show adapted into a live-action audience. Bro, mwah, fantastic adaptation. But here they're changing the spirit of the show. They're literally keeping the superficial aspects and changing the heart.
It comes down to the most fundamental elements of what makes that property special in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
You can interject your own style and your own creativity into that universe while still keeping the DNA of it intact.
That's
it
it, baby.
Really isn't that difficult, and it has...
Well, I mean, it probably is difficult for a lot of people, being that so many people failed. Like, I just benefit of the doubt. I'm sure it's not easy. I've never done it, but get someone that actually could do it.
It's been done successfully in the past. Like, it just takes some care.
Aang, I'm calling it right now, bro. Aang, he's not going to be running away from his responsibilities as an Avatar. He's somehow going to get into the fight with the Fire Nation guys, and he's gonna try to escape from that fight or something, or just barely survive that fight. And Sokka, he's not going to be sexist. He's going to just be the comic relief character the entire time. Katara is not going to be like this overbearing figure all along. She is going to be the hard carry. I'm telling you right now, Katara will be the hard carry for the entire show. I'm just 100%, and they're all gonna be super nice to Toph because Toph is blind.
You hate to keep referencing this, but I really thought they did a great job. The One Piece live action, it had the creator on.
Like, you don't think Zuko's gonna be a comic relief where Zhao is the main bad guy of one arc, and then Azula is the main bad guy of the other, and Zuko's just gonna be like the goofy comic relief daddy's boy that's just gonna say perverted takes on the whole honor
board, and you can really see that helped. This had the creators on board, and they clearly must have been ignored, and all of their advice fell on deaf ears because they eventually walked away from it, and now we're left with what seems to be an impending disaster in the Avatar universe here.
Oh, yeah.
Yet another live-action Avatar.
That's why you gotta sit down and just realize you don't care enough. That's it. That's the only thing you could do.
It doesn't compute with me how many times they have to learn this lesson. These shows, when you're taking from a beloved IP, need to at least pay respect to it. This seems to be actively against it. We needed to change the whole show around so it wasn't just for kids, so it could appeal to Game of Thrones fans. When again,
God,
it never was just for kids in the...
I love Game of Thrones, and I love Avatar, but they're not the same. They're not the same. Guys, we're remaking Land Before Time, except Human Centipede Edition, all right? Littlefoot's face is going to be sewed to his own asshole, and we're just... What the frick, man? That's a different audience.
We had to change Sokka pretty substantially here because the whole sexism thing, it just wasn't sitting right with us. It was very iffy. Even though that was extremely important for him as part of his character growth. It's not like they used his sexism for, like, jokes or to put people down or belittle women or anything. It was never used for, like, shock or anything. It was actually used because it showed that he was flawed and needed to grow. And he did grow. Like...
Yep.
It's just so fucking frustrating. Like, I don't get it. Why even keep doing...
I love how he's just so sad. And I get it. I'm just so sad about this. Why are they doing this?
So yeah, I'm not optimistic about this show. I guess we'll see. Maybe it surprises me and everyone else and it comes out and it's a banger.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't have any hope for that being the case anymore.
Maybe this was all just a trick. It was a lie. All right? They're getting your expectations low. You're going to go into this disappointed. Not angry, just disappointed. You're going to go into it expecting it to be absolute and utter dog poop. You're going to think it's terrible, and it just starts off with Sokka just saying, like, hey, bitch, make me a sandwich. Bro, I would literally cheer so hard. I would promote your show for free. I would give you ad spots on 30 videos free of charge if you do that.
Or because of every interview they do, just making it sound more and more dog shitty. That's really about it. So yeah.
Yeah, what a yucky situation, bro. What a stupid, ugly, yucky destroying something so many people love. God damn it. All right, anyway, that's my take on how the woke have destroyed the show. Anyway, that's it. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.